I love that dude. Yeah, I just like, you know what I like about Millyz? Not even how he raps. You know what I mean? I like his
Yeah.
swag. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like the fact that he owns that shit. You know what I mean? And I told you, and admittedly so, I never owned that. Not that I wasn't confident in my rhyming skills, not that I didn't have skills and I didn't dust people off at ciphers. You know what I mean? I was never a battle
Right.
rapper, but
Yeah.
I would dust people off at ciphers. But Millyz, no matter how you like his rap or whatever, he owns that
Oh,
shit. He will tell you he's the best, and he believes it in his core. You know what I mean? And I
right.
love
No,
that.
I got you. I just like, yeah, a lot of us over here, yeah, we don't really rock with him, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm
no,
just being
no.
honest. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm not like, I'm not sitting here waving the Millyz fan club. I'm just
Oh yeah,
saying
yeah.
on that note. But what I don't like about Millyz is like a
Okay.
lot of people in his category or in his age bracket,
Mm.
the lack of respect for the culture. And
Is
with
it cockiness?
me, I stay on this and I stay on my soapbox, and people always, go look at some of my comments. People will say to me, "Get off your soapbox. Who the fuck are you, old man? Hey, grandpa, fuck off." Like, listen,
Gotcha.
why? I have said this, and here's my thing, and I stand on this too, and I'll say it right here again on your forum. I have dropped gems for years and years and years before any superstar, before even half the legends said it. I have dropped gems, and I don't mean like bars or whatever, which I've done that too, but I have dropped knowledge that years later somebody would say. I have been saying forever. My whole catchphrase was the industry prioritizes popularity over talent and a bag over the culture. And years later, Nicki Minaj gets on Rap Radar. And I'm not saying she heard me. I'm not saying that. I kind of felt honored that great minds think alike, but sometimes it almost feels like somebody heard me along the lines, even subconsciously, and regurgitated what I said. But what she said was, her quote was, this is Nicki Minaj talking, when I was growing up, what you heard on the radio was talented people. Now on the radio, what you're hearing is popular people. Same thing as I said, but in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I heard, like, many times it's happened. But real quick back to Millyz. What bothers me, again, I feel like you've got to be respectful, and you've got to, you got to be respectful in the culture that you're making money in. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't care what you say and say, well, it's rap. Rap is a element of MC, or there's a subgenre of MCing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You are making money in. So
Yeah.
don't tell me with all your money and all your plane trips to Paris and all your plane trips around the world to make more money, you don't have the time to pick up a book and find out who the hell is Grandmaster Flash? Who the hell is Grandmaster Cass? Who the hell is
Yeah.
Chief Rocker B? You know what I mean? Battles.
Mm-hmm.
What was this battle with Ice-T and LL? Like, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that you can't read up, or now
Yeah.
even better, since nobody wants to read or pick up a book these days,
No.
even better, Google it. Hey, Busy Bee. It'll tell you everything about it. It'll tell
Busy.
you, hey, if you listen to a couple songs, I'd be satisfied with at least that. But Millyz said in in a um in a comment, we were talking about the Beastie Boys.
2 hours later.
The other funny story, though, with Millyz, I got one more funny story, and I
Yeah.
love it. And I don't want to get twisted. I don't want a whole bunch of people, because listen, I'm not about throwing shade on nobody anymore. So this is no shade on Millyz. This is just fact. You know what I mean? I gave him his props. You know what I mean? I do like a lot of his songs. I do. You know what I mean? I do like his conviction more than anything. I don't like the fact that he doesn't feel like, and he's not, like some people say, that's not his prerogative. You know what I mean? And I almost had to say, you know, it's got to be about more than a bag, but I don't even know anymore. Like, it's, you know, I don't know. But anyway, he put out a song, and it might have been with Jadakiss, and I don't even know the name of the song. But
Yeah, because Jadakiss, like, gotta, that's who he signed to, right? He signed to Jadakiss now?
Right.
Okay.
That's why I was saying he's got to know some legends, because I really got to believe in my heart of hearts, because Jadakiss is one of my favorite ever from day one. Locks is like, you know, if they could put all three of the Locks in the Mount Rushmore, you know what I mean? Like somehow, if it was you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like you said, the Beastie Boys would be the same way. Yeah, like.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, so Millyz puts a song out on, and you can go see this. This is a fact. And I had no luck, you know, like you're my witness, Latonio. No luck with technology, like getting on apps and all this other bullshit. So when I went to do, I wanted to get in with the trends. You know what I mean? I want to be trendy, you know? So I wanted to do some duets. So I said, let me be trendy. Let me be trendy Mikey Barslow. And so I started doing, and it went well. You know, a couple of them went well. It never went technically sound, you know, but then I do the Millyz ones, and I bring Millyz songs up. Now, on the Millyz ones, I'm a huge Digital Underground fan. And me and Platonio talked about this, Jay, you know, off camera before. Of all the rappers, of course, Chuck D is my god. He saved my life. I lived in a place in North Carolina. I'll go into that story if you want me to. But I solely listened to, like, Chuck D forever. And like I said, based on you knowing my initial songs, you get my influence with him and my love of Chuck D and Flav, you know, and the whole, you know, S1Ws. Terminator X is like one of my favorite DJs. But anyway, but besides that, what was I gonna say here? Fuck.
Well, the direction of being like a big Chuck D fan and like Public Enemy, which I was gonna kind of, if you're going this direction, I think, you know, kind of like you got the flavor unit, but going back to Public Enemy in general, where you talk about like the movement is, where you talk.
Yeah, you got me with my man.
All right, Pop. Well, yeah, all right.
You know, hey, Jay, you'd be able to do this to me too if you were on the phone with me since like 6 o'clock this morning. You know, see, you missed out.